Baby Driver is a 2017 action thriller film written and directed by Edgar Wright. It stars Ansel Elgort as Baby, a getaway driver seeking freedom from a life of crime with his girlfriend Debora, Lily James. Kevin Spacey, Jon Hamm, Eiza González, Jon Bernthal and Jamie Foxx appear in supporting roles. Eric Fellner and his Working Title Films partner Tim Bevan produced Baby Driver in association with Big Talk Productions Nira Park. Sony and TriStar Pictures handled commercial distribution of the film. Baby Driver was financed through tax subsidies from the Georgia state government and a co-production pact between TriStar and MRC. Wright developed Baby Driver for over 2 decades. He devised the idea in his youth, and his early directing experience further shaped his ambitions for Baby Driver. Originally based in Los Angeles, Wright chose Atlanta as the film's setting after the studio secured tax credits to subsidize production costs, integrating the city's ethos into an important storytelling device. Principal photography took place in Atlanta from February to May 2016. Production involved the planning of meticulously coordinated stunts, choreography, and in-camera editing. Thematic studies of Baby Driver examine patterns of color symbolism and babies' evolving morality. Baby Driver premiered at the South by Southwest Festival on March 11, 2017, followed by releases in North America and the United Kingdom on June 28. The media praised the film's craftsmanship and actors, though certain aspects of the writing were sources of criticism. The National Board of Review selected Baby Driver as one of the top films of the year. It earned $227 million globally, bolstered by positive word-of-mouth support and flagging interest in blockbuster franchises. Baby Driver was nominated for numerous awards, including 3 Academy Awards, 2 BAFTA Film Awards, with a win for editing, 2 Critics' Choice Awards, again, with a win for editing, and a Golden Globe for Best Actor, Musical or Comedy nomination for Elgort, and won several other honors, chiefly for technical achievement. The success of Baby Driver increased studio interest in producing a sequel. Plot: in Atlanta, Miles, self-named Baby, is a young getaway driver who lost his parents in a car crash that left him with tinnitus, and finds catharsis in music. He ferries crews of robbers assembled by Kingpin Doc to pay off a debt as recompense for theft of a car containing Doc's illicit goods. Between jobs, he remixes snippets of recorded conversations and cares for his deaf foster father Joseph. At Bo's Diner, a local restaurant, he meets a waitress named Debora, and they start dating. His next robbery goes awry after an armed bystander chases them down, but Baby evades him and the police. Having paid his debt, Baby quits his life of crime and starts delivering pizzas. Baby takes Debora out on a date at a fancy restaurant where he runs into Doc, who pays for their meal. Meeting Baby outside, Doc coerces him to join his planned post office heist under threat of retaliation. The crew consists of easygoing Buddy, his sharpshooter wife Darling, and trigger-happy psychopath Bats, who takes a disliking to Baby. While the crew attempts to purchase illegal arms at a rendezvous from a contact of Doc's, the butcher, Bats recognizes the butcher and his men are undercover police and opens fire, resulting in most of the dealers being killed. Afterward, Bats makes Baby stop at Debora's diner, unaware of Baby and Debora's romance. Baby, aware of Bats's homicidal habit, stops him from killing her to avoid paying. Doc is furious, revealing that the dealers were dirty cops on his payroll. He decides to cancel the heist, but Bats, Buddy, and Darling disagree. Doc lets Baby decide. He chooses to go through with it. Baby attempts to slip away late that night, hoping to take Debora and leave. He is stopped by Buddy and Bats, who have discovered his recordings and believe he is a police informant. When they and Doc hear his mixtapes, they are convinced of his innocence. During the heist, Bats kills a security guard. Disgusted, Baby refuses to drive away, causing Bats to hit him. Baby rams the car into a rebar which impales Bats, killing him. The 3 flee on foot. After the police kill Darling in a shootout, Buddy furiously blames Baby for her death and plans to kill him. Baby steals a car and flees to his apartment. After leaving Joseph at an assisted living home with his heist earnings, Baby rushes to Bose for Debora, where Buddy is waiting. Baby shoots Buddy and flees with Debora as police reinforcements swarm the restaurant. At the safe house, Doc refuses Baby's pleas for help, but relents when he sees Debora consoling him. Doc supplies them with cash and an escape route out of the country. The three are confronted by the butcher's vengeful henchmen in the parking garage, but Doc kills them all. Buddy ambushes them with a stolen police car and kills Doc. A cat-and-mouse game ensues until Buddy has Baby at his mercy. He shoots next to both Baby's ears, temporarily deafening him, but the distraction allows Debora to subdue Buddy with a crowbar. After Baby shoots him in the leg, Buddy falls to his death. Baby surrenders after he and Debora encounter a police roadblock. At Baby's trial, Joseph, Debora, and other individuals Baby help testify as character witnesses. He is sentenced to 25 years in prison, with a parole hearing after 5. Debora stays in contact with Baby during his incarceration, and once he is released, they reunite with a new car. Cast. A head and shoulder shot of Ansel Elgort at the Baby Driver Sydney premiere. A head and shoulder shot of Lily James at the Baby Driver Sydney premiere. Ansel Elgort, left, and Lily James, right, at the Baby Driver Sydney premiere. Ansel Elgort as Miles Baby. A young getaway driver with an intense passion for music. 5. Elgort regarded the character as an innocent younger than his years, deep down. 6. Edgar Wright and the producers at Working Title Films began contemplating the lead role well before they obtained funding for Baby Driver. Elgort, John Boyega, and Logan Lerman were among a raft of potential candidates considered for star billing. 7. 8. Elgort auditioned for the part because he found the screenplay compelling. 6. He auditioned several times, but was hired based on a taped audition where he lip-synced and danced to the Commodore's 1977 single Easy. 9. Wright was so impressed that the song was added to the film's soundtrack. 9. 10. The writer-director explained his selection of Elgort, "There's an element of an old soul in Ansel and that was something I thought connected with what I had already written." 7. Hudson Meek as young Baby 11. Lily James as Debora. A waitress employed at Bo's Diner who becomes Baby's girlfriend. Emma Stone was an early candidate for the role during development. 12. Kevin Spacey as Doc. The mysterious kingpin of an Atlanta-based crime syndicate to whom Baby owes a debt. Spacey's involvement in Baby Driver was announced in the press in November 2015. 13. Jon Hamm as Jason Buddy Van Horn. A laid-back professional criminal and the husband of Darling, who are both members of a crew of armed robbers who works as a banker from Wall Street and was brought into the criminal underworld by a drug habit. His impulsive decisions are the result of a midlife crisis. Wright envisioned Buddy as a strong, suave, handsome character a la Doc McCoy, Steve McQueen, in The Getaway, 1972, and Jack Foley, George Clooney, in Out of Sight, 1998, yet much more sinister. 14. Hamm is the only actor in Baby Driver whose character was written specifically for them, as Wright is a longtime friend and fan of his. 15. The two men first met at a Saturday Night Live after party in 2008. 14. 16. Hamm took part in a table read several years before Baby Driver was commissioned by a studio. 17. Eiza González as Monica Darling Costello. Buddy's young, vivacious wife, and the only woman in Doc's heist crew. She and Buddy form an intensely intimate, Bonnie and Clyde-esque pairing. 18. Describing her as a vapid crook space cadet woman who has no attachment to reality. 19. The actress joined the production in December 2015. 20. Jamie Foxx as Leon Bats Jefferson 3. Doc's particularly sadistic, ruthless henchman, who has little regard for the people in his way. Foxx was a casting choice recommended to Wright, although he had reservations and felt the actor would not be enthusiastic about a supporting role. 16. Foxx was fascinated with the film's artistic direction, and joined the project thanks to the support of Quentin Tarantino. 16. He modeled bats after a longtime friend he first met at a Los Angeles comedy club in his youth. 21. Jon Bernthal as Griffin Griff, one of Doc's thugs responsible for the security of his heist crew. Bernthal believed criminals were too often stereotyped as incompetent in news media. Therefore, to prepare for his role, the actor consulted with real-life career criminals to get a better grasp on his character and the inner workings of organized crime. 22. He said in an interview, "There's your idiots who hold up a place and get caught because they leave their wallet there, but there's mastermind criminals and they all come in different shapes and sizes and different levels of intellect. I think there are people with real talent and people who take it enormously seriously, and those are the kinds of people I talk to." 22. C.J. Jones as Joe, Baby's foster father, who is deaf and a wheelchair user. Casting director Francine Maisler was tasked with hiring a suitable actor to play Joseph. 23. Though Jones was significantly younger than the role called for, he was hired from a handful of prospective actors, most of whom were not deaf. 23. Jones opted not to work with an on-set interpreter until later in production. He also helped Elgort hone his sign language, ASL, with an on-set tutor. 23. Other cast members include Flea as Eddie No-Nose, 24. Lanny June as JD, 25. Sky Ferreira as Baby's biological mother, an aspiring singer, 26. R. Marcus Taylor as Army, a crooked police officer, Lance Palmer as Baby's biological father, an abusive alcoholic, 27. Big Boi and Killer Mike as restaurant patrons, 28. Paul Williams as the butcher, 28. Walter Hill as the voice of a courtroom ASL interpreter, and John Spencer as a prison guard. 28. Noel Fielding and Nick Frost have cameos through archive footage on Baby's TV, appearing in the music video for Mint Royale's Blue Song, directed by Wright, in which Fielding played a prototypical version of Baby. Production. Development. Headshot of Edgar Wright at the 2013 San Diego Comic-Con International. Edgar Wright in 2013. Baby Driver was a long-time passion project Wright had been developing since 1995, when the writer-director was a struggling 21-year-old filmmaker living in suburban London. 7/16 He had relocated to London to finish his first professional film, the low-budget western comedy A Fistful of Fingers, and to contemplate his future in entertainment. 7 Wright's repeated listening to Orange, 1994, the fourth studio album by the John Spencer Blues Explosion, provided the impetus for Baby Driver. 7 At first he envisioned a high-speed car chase that was prefaced with a dance sequence soundtrack to Bell Bottoms. 29 Though this was ultimately written into the script as the film's opening sequence, Wright's nascent vision was far from a fully realized project. 16 By the time Baby Driver took definite form, the advent of the iPod, Wright's childhood tinnitus, and his reading of Oliver Sacks' Musicophilia, 2007, which explores the neuroscience of music, were forces shaping the project's artistic direction. 29 On a £25,000 budget, Wright developed the music video for Mint Royale's Blue Song in 2003, featuring a backstory gleaned from his early concept for Baby Driver. 30 Blue Song became an unexpected success, and although happy with his work, Wright was frustrated he had cannibalized an idea he felt had enormous potential. 1631 The director said that, in retrospect, he considers his music video seminal for providing proof of concept for Baby Driver. 16 The release of Wright's first major feature, Shaun of the Dead, 2004, was another important catalyst, not only for its artistic direction, but also for signaling the start of a long-term working relationship between Wright and working title producers, who would assist with Baby Driver's development. 7 By 2007, after signing a multi-picture deal with working title, and with a clearer vision of the project, Wright met with Stephen Price to discuss early musical ideas for Baby Driver. 7 The drafting of a story started around the release of Scott Pilgrim vs. the World, 2010, but pre-production of the film stalled as Wright's other projects The World's End, 2013, and the then forthcoming Ant-Man, 2015, for which he had already prepared a script with Joe Cornish took precedence. 7. Work resumed immediately after Wright's departure from Ant-Man, when the studio began assembling their roster of actors and technical staff before shooting. 7. In preparation, Wright spent time with ex-career criminals in Los Angeles and London to develop an accurate depiction of a real-life bank robber's work. 30. Wright, lead film editor Paul Machlis, and Los Angeles-based editor Evan Schiff devised a pre-edit of Baby Driver with animatics in the initial stages of production. With avid media composer, Machlis was tasked with syncopating each animatic to a corresponding song. He and Wright had an existing professional relationship from Scott Pilgrim vs. the World and The World's End. In addition, Machlis worked on set providing input for the shoot, which is unusual for a film editor. 32. Filming. Entrance shot of the Peachtree Center development. Baby Driver was primarily filmed in downtown Atlanta, where location shots showcase local landmarks such as Peachtree Center, pictured in 2019. Los Angeles was to have been Baby Driver's original setting, but prohibitively expensive production costs made shooting there impractical. 33 Instead, the studio toured cities that offer generous transferable tax credits for film production. These included Atlanta, which emerged as the front runner during preliminary scouting. Preserving the city's ethos was imperative for an authentic story, for Atlanta typically doubles for other global cities in blockbuster cinema. 34 Wright spent about a week observing the cityscape to facilitate the necessary revisions to the script. He found Baby Driver's story better realized in Atlanta because of the city's renown as a logistics hub. 33 Principal photography, which lasted 4 months from February to May 2016. 35-36 took place mostly in the central business district. 33 Location shots showcase many of Atlanta's landmarks, such as Peachtree Center, cultural institutions, and even local media. 37-38 Elsewhere, filming occurred in Gainesville and rural Monroe County, Georgia. 37 Although other suburban areas of Atlanta were scouted for main unit filming, Wright preferred the city's urbanity over the dense vegetation of the suburbs, which he considered an unsuitable backdrop for the film. 30 Baby Driver contributed $30.1 million to the local economy through wages, transportation, and other expenditures. 39. Wright cited Vanishing Point, 1971, American Graffiti, 1973, The Driver, 1978, Point Break, 1991, Reservoir Dogs, 1992, and Heat, 1995, among others, as significant influences on the film's visual hallmarks and creative direction. 29 30 31 40 To evoke their aesthetic, one of the production's main goals was to produce Baby Driver using practical filmmaking techniques. 41 This meant planning meticulously coordinated stunts and choreography, and shooting as much of the film in camera as possible, using visual effects only when necessary. 42-43 Baby Driver was director of photography Bill Pope's third film with Wright, following Scott Pilgrim vs. the World and The World's End. Pope shot the project mostly on 35mm Kodak film stock, utilizing Panavision Panaflex Millennium XL2 cameras with G-Series, T-Series, and C-Series 2.39:1 anamorphic widescreen lenses. 41 Occasionally, to capture more intense stunts, and to achieve unusual camera angles Wright demanded for certain scenes, the crew shot in Super 35 format with specialized cameras. 44 Panavision's Atlanta offices assisted with the needs of the production when logistics management became challenging. 41 The climactic scene in particular, staged in a parking garage at the Atlanta Falcons training facility, which was available only at night, was difficult to shoot because of the darkness. 41 The scene ended up being filmed digitally using the company's Arri Alexa camera system, which has greater exposure latitude. 32-41 Visual effects. Few visual effects were used in Baby Driver as a result of Wright's emphasis on practical filmmaking. 45 The London-based studio DNEG, under the supervision of Stuart Lashley and Chalandra Swarnkar, created most of the visual effects that were needed. 42 Their work for the film comprised 430 shots. 44 Created with a workforce of 120 specialized artists. 42 The team's work began while viewing early animatics of Baby Driver, which they used as a reference to help conceive the film's audiovisual repertoire. 44 DNEG used Nuke to animate car chase scenes that could not be rendered with in-camera effects. As these scenes were routinely updated with reshoots, the team was tasked with maintaining the software's control tools so artists would be readily equipped to work with the latest audio. 44 Molinari also produced effects shots for Baby Driver. 44. According to Lashley, key scenes that highlight the film's audiovisual repertoire were Harlem Shuffle, the single tracking shot of Baby's coffee run through town, and Tequila, the sequence of a deadly shootout between Doc's syndicate and undercover police. Harlem Shuffle was one of Baby Driver's most elaborate sequences. Filmmakers cached excess footage so the shot could be manageable. 44 The set design of Tequila involved precise coordination of the in-camera effects. Once filmed, DNEG supplemented the live-action shots with bullets, sparks, and gunfire flashes, while bearing in mind the imposing drum riffs of the soundtrack. 44 The team found that compositing shots to audio, although suitable for live-action projects, presented unique challenges, such as how to convey emotional cues to the viewer. 44. For Brighton Rock, the climactic sequence of Baby Driver, DNEG enhanced footage with computer-generated shots for safety and damage control. First, to portray characters being pummeled by cars, the team filmed the accidents in stages. The footage was then composited into complete shots, lending a sense of realism and control. 44 The shot of Buddy's stolen police car falling in the parking garage atrium from the top level required setting up a shorter, safer drop at another side of the garage with a crane to comply with the owner's demands. DNEG created a set extension from a LiDAR scan of the atrium, with superimposed special effects to extend the fall. 44. Stunts and choreography. Second Unit Director Darren Prescott coordinated the vehicular stunts for Baby Driver with Jeremy Fry, the project's stunt driver, and a team of other professionals. 46-47 They rehearsed at the Atlanta Motor Speedway before receiving clearance to shoot in the city. At the rehearsals, filmmakers captured the stunts with specialized pursuit cranes, small cars with an installed camera crane. Mock Liss would then edit the footage into updated animatics, fleshing out the precision of the stunts in time for shooting. 47 Fry performed many of the vehicular stunts. The actors were allowed to perform less demanding stunts with the proper training. 48. Prescott saw Baby Driver as his biggest undertaking because of the complicated stunt work involved. 43 One such scene features a 180 in and 180 out maneuver, in which Fry makes 180-degree turns forward and backward in a narrow alley with several other vehicles in the way. This was shot in 5 or 6 takes. There's a lot going through your head. You don't want Jeremy to get hurt. Also, there's a lot of money being spent to get this on camera. The cameras needed to be out of the way so nobody would get hurt, Prescott recalled. 43 Another example is the freeway car chase scene midway in Baby Driver's opening sequence. 47-49 The production had only an 8-hour window to shoot because they did not have clearance to shut down I-85. With the limited time frame, the filmmakers rehearsed for only an hour before they began filming in early morning. This scene involved a number of high-speed jumps, and barrier jumps, among other stunts, that Prescott and his team carefully coordinated bearing traffic flow in mind. There were also 50 production vehicles encircled by a sprawling police motorcade, occupying all lanes of I-85. 47 The choice of the getaway cars corresponded to specifications in the screenplay that they be nondescript and blend in with the surrounding traffic. 49 Though Wright sought a Toyota Corolla based on data about frequently stolen cars, The production used a red Subaru WRX instead after the studio requested a vehicle that could be a little sexier. 49. Ryan Heffington oversaw the choreography. He was responsible for synchronizing the movement of the actors and stunt performers in the film's choreographic sequences. 50. Baby Driver was Heffington's first foray into film. He is best known in the music industry for his work with SIA and Arcade Fire, among other artists. 50. Though compelled by the script, the choreographer was unfamiliar with Wright's prior work, which he researched after his initial interview for the job. 51. The two detailed their artistic vision in early conversations, using songs with dramatic tempo changes or structure as templates. 50. By the first day of shooting, Heffington was already supervising the Harlem Shuffle sequence, employing 50 to 60 extras. 51. Choreographing other sequences was sometimes less taxing because Elgort and Foxx had prior dance experience. 51. The production played the music as the cast rehearsed each sequence, shot by shot. 44. Sound design. A photo of the Twickenham Studios facility in London. The production pre-mixed audio at the London-based Twickenham Studios, pictured in 2010. When sound editing supervisor Julian Slater was first approached for Baby Driver, he was sent a copy of the script and a PDF file containing the curated selection of music, along with a rough audio mix. 52. Working closely with music editor Bradley Farmer, he dissected each musical cue into a unique tempo map, thereby allowing for synchronization at any given time. Their work required frequent pitch scaling of sounds so they would not be off-pitch with the music. 52. They experimented with different sounds for Baby's tinnitus, which is sometimes subtle, and sometimes more noticeable. Its intensity in the audio mix depended on Baby's mood. For example, the more anxious he is, the louder the ringing. 52. Managing tempo changes with the sound effects proved troublesome. Slater said Farmer showed him that, for every layer that happens musically, you should have another layer that happens non-musically so that you perceive it only some of the time. 52. The Harlem Shuffle sequence contains the audio team's most complex sound effects work. Completed in 25 takes, it features an assortment of subtle sound effects from engines, dialogue with changing nuance, and so forth. 53. Brighton Rock posed another challenge for the filmmakers because the sequence required a new set of frequencies, altered voices, and other sounds to emphasize Baby's disoriented state. 52. The audio department spent 8 days recording car sound effects at Atlanta Motor Speedway. 53. For onboard recordings, the sounds heard from the perspective of the driver and passengers. Sound effects record EIST Watson Wu installed about 6 microphones per vehicle, 1 in the airbox, another on the radio dashboard, 2 near the exhausts, and 2 in the engine compartment. Boom operator James Peterson followed each car with a shotgun mic for the external recordings, while using XY stereo equipment to capture the noise of passing vehicles. 53. The crew pre-mixed their audio at the Twickenham Studios in London, and the final mixing took place at Goldcrest Films Soho post-production facility. 53. Music. Main article, Baby Driver, music from the motion picture. Wright and Price compiled a short list of 10 songs to shape Baby Driver's musical direction. 7 in total, up to 36 tracks were licensed with Wright Music. 54-55 Wright was unable to use certain hip-hop and electronic songs written in the script because they contained samples not cleared for copyright. 31-56 At that point, he pursued licensing of the sampled songs to use for the film's soundtrack. 31 Danger Mouse and Kid Koala composed the album's only original tracks, Chase Me and Was He Slow. Chase Me features contributions from Run the Jewels and Big Boi. 54 Was He Slow, which samples some of Spacey and Bernthal's dialogue. Kid Koala produced the song using analog equipment. 57. Columbia imprint 30th Century Records released the Baby Driver soundtrack on June 23, 2017, on vinyl and CD. 58 Baby Driver Volume 2, The Score for a Score,
a follow-up album containing previously unreleased content, was issued on April 13, 2018. 59. Themes. A screenshot of Baby, Bats, Darling, and Buddy, illustrating the films of color as a thematic signature. Baby Driver uses colors to symbolize the personas of the core characters. Baby's muted sensibility clashes with the bright, vibrant colors worn by Bats, Darling, and Buddy. Wright views Baby's moral shift as the thematic crux of the film. 40. According to David Sims at The Atlantic, Baby's initial moral detachment manifests through his use of music as escapism from conflict and his tinnitus. 40. It is only his obligation to protect Debora and Joseph and the increasing mayhem around him that force Baby to confront reality. 40. Baby Driver employs some of the conventions of gangster film, chiefly heroic fatalism and uncompromising villainy. 60. Characteristic of Wright's films, Baby Driver is driven by strong color cues. Colors are used symbolically to represent the personas of the core characters. 61. At the beginning, whereas Baby dresses in drab colors that reflect his black and white perspective of the universe, his peers are associated with bright, vibrant colors that clash with this sensibility, red for Bats, purple and pink for Darling, and blue for Buddy. 61. As the story progresses and the pressures of organized crime become overwhelming, Baby's wardrobe evolves, and he is seen in faint grays and blood-stained white shirts. 61. Costume designer Courtney Hoffman said she incorporated light gray colors into Baby's wardrobe to illustrate his struggle for freedom from the criminal world. 61. The significance of red also transforms in tandem with the story, from a motif symbolizing the bloodthirsty Bats to one denoting Buddy's rage after the death of his lover. 62. Justin Chang of the Los Angeles Times argues that Baby Driver is an exploration of identity and personal style, and how said expression dictates one's status in society. 63. In their piece for the Los Angeles Review of Books, David Hollingshead and Jane Hu examine race as an important thematic element in Baby Driver. They contend that certain aspects of the film, such as the casting choices and the appeal to a white innocence narrative for Baby's redemption arc, underscore a race consciousness and subtext about the ethics of cultural appropriation. 64. Marketing and release. Prop display at the Essen Motor Show in Germany, pictured in 2017. TriStar spearheaded the marketing campaign. 65. Their strategy entailed aggressive social media engagement. 66. A worldwide publicity tour. 7. And the creation of a number of colorful, vintage-style character posters. 67. Baby Driver premiered at the South by Southwest Festival on March 11, 2017. 68. TriStar and Sony initially scheduled a mid-August release for the film in North America and the United Kingdom. 69. But, in an unusual move, the studios expedited the release by 6 weeks to June 28, 70 as a result of the enthusiastic response from the film festival circuit. 71. 72. This was considered unusual because box office competition is traditionally less intense during late summer, and hence a more favorable market for lower budget films. 69. 71. Home media. Sony Pictures Home Entertainment released Baby Driver for video on demand on September 12, 2017. 73, and on Blu-ray, DVD, and 4K Ultra HD / Blu-ray combo formats on October 10. 74. Physical copies contain 2 hours of bonus content, including behind-the-scenes footage, production rehearsals, a storyboard gallery, audio commentaries, and the music video for Blue Song. 75. During its first week on sale in the United States, Baby Driver was the #2 selling film on DVD and Blu-ray, with 226,657 units sold for $5.6 million. 76. Baby Driver sold 595,111 copies by January 2018. 77. The premium cable networks Showtime and FX have U.S. broadcast syndication rights for Baby Driver. 78. 79. It is also available to authenticated Showtime subscribers via the network's streaming services. 78. Reception. Box office.
Baby Driver was a financial success. Although the film's performance faltered in China, it performed strongly in key North American and European markets until the end of its theatrical run. 72-80-81 Baby Driver earned $107.8 million in the United States and Canada and $119.1 million in other territories, for a worldwide total of $227 million. For it was the 42nd highest grossing film of 2017-82 and Wright's highest grossing film to date. 83 The TriStar, Media Rights Capital Partnership recouped their budget with a $51.5 million net profit, factoring in marketing costs and other expenses. 83 Good word-of-mouth support, as well as fatiguing interest in blockbuster franchises, were considered critical to Baby Driver's box office success. 784. In the United States, exit polling showed strong commercial potential across a variety of audiences. 85 CinemaScore polls conducted during opening night revealed the average grade filmgoers gave Baby Driver was A on an A+ to F scale. 85 audiences were mostly younger, 52% were under 25 and 57% were men. The main reasons given for seeing the film were its action, 44%, the actors, 26%, and Wright, 16%. 85 hourly advanced ticket sales eclipsed that of Transformers: The Last Knight. 85 predictions, while acknowledging the positive media response and word-of-mouth support for Baby Driver, were conflicted about the long-term commercial viability of an economical film in a fiercely competitive market. 385 The film earned $5.7 million on its first day, including $2.1 million from Tuesday night previews, and followed by another $3.3 million on Thursday. 86 It debuted at second, earning $30 million from 3,226 theaters, trailing Despicable Me 3. 87 This return surpassed Sony's expectations for the weekend. 85 and marked the best opening of any Wright-directed film in the United States to date. 87-88 Its second weekend earnings dropped by 36.7% to $13.89, and followed by another $8.8 million the third weekend. 90 By August 14th, the film's domestic earnings topped $100 million. 91 TriStar re-expanded the film's theater presence for the week of August 25th, earning $1.2 million from 1,074 theaters, a 34% increase from the prior week. 92 Baby Driver completed its theatrical run in North America on October 19, 2017. 93. Baby Driver was released in 16 further markets between June 28 and July 2, 2017. Its overall rank for the weekend was second to Despicable Me 3. 94 The United Kingdom represented the film's largest taking with £3.6 million from 680 cinemas. 81-95 It took $1.8 million in the second week. 96 And the third week in the United Kingdom saw the box office drop by just 26%. 97 As of the latest figures, Baby Driver earned $16.6 million in the United Kingdom. 98 On its opening weekend elsewhere, it earned $3.7 million in Australia, 97 $1.7 million in Mexico, 99 $1.7 million in France, 100 $1.2 million in Germany, 101 $1.2 million in Brazil, 101 $843,000 in Spain, 96 and $620,000 in Malaysia. 100 During its mid-September opening in South Korea, Baby Driver grossed $3.12 million. 102 By September 3, the film's offshore gross had exceeded $102.2 million. 103. Critical response. Baby Driver, a new vehicular action thriller jukebox musical romance from the British writer-director Edgar Wright, is almost as entertaining as it is depleting. This is movie craftsmanship and showmanship of a very high order. Justin Chang, Los Angeles Times. 63. The American press considered Baby Driver among the strongest films of 2017.
104. The film was selected by the National Board of Review as one of their top choices for the organization's annual Top 10 Films list. 105. Several journalists praised the film for its craftsmanship, which they saw as an exercise of Wright's expertise. 60. 106. 107. Empire's Terry White called Baby Driver one of the most utterly original films in years that comes as close to a car chase opera as you'll ever see on screen. 108. Peter Bradshaw of The Guardian felt the film was stylish and engaging, packed with sheer brio and good nature, despite sticking with romantic notions of car chasing being a victimless crime. 109. And Variety's Peter DeBrugge said Baby Driver becomes a genre standout through a mostly clever collection of jokes, sudden narrative U-turns, aptly picked songs, and a strong emphasis on car chases. 110. Reviews for the actors' performances were very positive in the media. 60. 111. Often singling out Elgort and James for further praise. 63. 112. 113. With their work described as star-making and radiant. 114. 115. The characterization divided journalists, with several criticizing the depiction of some characters, often the women, in their reviews. 116. Debora was viewed as a somewhat underdeveloped character by Eric Cohn of IndieWire. 117. Whereas White felt that, because of the sparse details of her backstory, she lacked depth and too often has little agency of her own. 108. Richard Brody of The New Yorker considered Baby Driver's dialogue almost entirely functional, devoid of nuance, resulting in characters who are largely interchangeable despite the best efforts of a diverse cast. 118. Others, such as David Adelstein of Vulture magazine and The Observer's Thelma Adams, cited character development as one of the film's strengths. 119. 120. The script writing and plot development in the film's climactic scenes were sources of criticism. 121. Some reviewers cited the script writing as Baby Driver's biggest flaw, where rapid tonal shifts undermine the viewing experience. 122. 116. Cineasts Adam Naiman, for example, attributed the mistakes in the script to Wright's inexperience as a solo writer. 123. And The Rap saw the lost momentum as jarring and uncommon, saying, "Rarely do we see a filmmaker start so strong only to end with a whimper." 124. Anthony Lane, writing for The New Yorker, felt the film takes itself too seriously and lacks the self-awareness of Wright's other action comedies, such as Hot Fuzz, 2007. 125. In 2025, it was one of the films voted for the Reader's Choice edition of the New York Times list of the 100 best movies of the 21st century, finishing at number 252. 126. Baby Driver has an approval rating of 92% based on 394 professional reviews on the review aggregator website Rotten Tomatoes, with an average rating of 8.1/10. Its critical consensus reads, "Stylish, exciting, and fueled by a killer soundtrack, Baby Driver hits the road and it's gone," proving fast-paced action movies can be smartly written without sacrificing thrills. 127. Metacritic gave it a weighted average score of 86 out of 100 based on reviews from 53 critics, indicating universal acclaim. 128. Accolades. Main article, list of accolades received by Baby Driver. Baby Driver was nominated for Best Film Editing, Best Sound Editing and Best Sound Mixing at the 90th Academy Awards. 129. It received 2 nominations for Best Editing and Best Sound, at the 71st British Academy Film Awards, winning the former 130, and 2 nominations at the 23rd Critics' Choice Awards, winning Best Editing. 131. At the 75th Golden Globe Awards, Ansel Elgort was nominated at the Best Actor, Motion Picture, Musical or Comedy. 132 other nominations for the film included 5 Empire Awards, winning 2, 133, 134 and 1 nomination each at the Satellite 135 Saturn 136 137 Screen Actors Guild 138 NME, 1, 139 Grammy 140 141 MTV 142 143 and Teen Choice Awards. 144 145 Wright won the Audience Award for Best Director at the South by Southwest Film Festival in March 2017, when the film was screened first for public viewing. 146. Potential sequel. The success of Baby Driver has increased studio interest in producing a sequel. Discussions of a sequel began in December 2017, as Wright announced his intent to develop the script to the media. 147 The writer-director began drafting the screenplay in January 2019, introducing an ensemble of new characters to advance the story. 148 By July, Wright had shown Elgort a copy of the completed script under a tentative working title. 149 In January 2021, Wright confirmed that he had finished writing the sequel's script. 150 On June 28, 2025, Wright hinted to a sequel after replying "not yet" to an Instagram comment remarking the absence of one. 151 In October 2025, Lily James stated that she would be in the sequel. 152 Wright reiterated that the script was complete and that he was just waiting for timing, financing, and cast availability to align. Ansel Elgort, born March 14, 1994, is an American actor and singer. He began his acting career with a supporting role in the horror film Carrie, 2013. He gained wider recognition for starring as a teenage cancer patient in the romantic drama film The Fault in Our Stars, 2014, and for his supporting role in the Divergent series, 2014 to 2016. In 2017, Elgort played the title character in Edgar Wright's action thriller Baby Driver, for which he received a Golden Globe Award nomination for Best Actor in a Motion Picture, Musical or Comedy. After starring in Steven Spielberg's musical film West Side Story, 2021, he portrayed Jake Adelstein in the crime series Tokyo Vice from 2022 to 2024. Early life and background. Ansel Elgort was born in New York City on March 14, 1994. 2-3 His parents are Arthur Elgort, a fashion photographer who has worked extensively for Vogue magazine 4-5, and Grit Barrett Holby, an opera director. 6-7-8 Elgort's father named him after prominent nature photographer Ansel Adams, 1902 to 1984. 9 Ansel is of Russian Jewish descent on his father's side. 10-11 and of Norwegian ancestry on his mother's. 12-13-14 Elgort's Norwegian maternal grandmother, Osgrid 15, was in the Norwegian resistance during World War II and saved Norwegian Jewish children by moving them into neutral Sweden. Citation needed. Because of these activities, she was imprisoned in a concentration camp. 8-16. Elgort has 2 older siblings, sister Sophie Elgort, a fashion photographer 17-18, and brother Warren Elgort, a cinematographer. 19 He is a cousin of comedian Sam Morrill, who is the son of his paternal uncle. 20 At age 9, Elgort auditioned for the School of American Ballet 621-22 and studied there for 5 years. 23. Elgort attended Trinity School, the Professional Performing Arts School, Fiorello H. LaGuardia High School, and Staghetto Manor Summer Camp. 124-25 He started taking acting classes at age 12 and at LaGuardia, where he performed in a rendition of Hairspray with schoolmate Kyle Jean-Baptiste and starred in the school's productions of Guys and Dolls. 6-26 During high school, in 2009, he appeared in Teen Vogue alongside Polish model Jac Jagasiak in an editorial photographed by his father. 27. Career. Acting. Elgort's first professional acting appearance was a few months before graduating high school, just days after his 18th birthday, when he premiered a lead role in an off-Broadway production of Regrets in March 2012. 6. His film debut was in the 2013 remake of Carrie, in the key secondary role of the lead character's prom date. His first highly publicized role was in Divergent, 2014, as Caleb Pryor,
the brother of the lead character. Immediately after the filming of Divergent was completed, it was announced that Elgort would play Augustus Waters in the film adaptation of John Green's novel The Fault in Our Stars opposite Shailene Woodley, who would play Hazel Grace Lancaster. 28. The film followed the story of Hazel, a teenage cancer patient, who is forced by her parents to attend a support group, where she subsequently meets and falls in love with Waters, a former basketball player. The film, directed by Josh Boone, was released on June 6, 2014. 29. Elgort next co-starred in the dramatic film Men, Women and Children, directed by Jason Reitman and released in October 2014. It co-starred his LaGuardia classmate Timothy Chalamet. 30. Elgort at the premiere of Divergent, 2014. In 2014, Elgort was named one of the best actors under 20 years of age. 31. Elgort reunited with Carrie co-star Chloe Grace Moretz to present the award for Best Visual Effects at the 2015 Oscars. 32. He also reprised his role, Caleb Pryor, in the Divergent series, Insurgent, the second film of the book series Divergent, which was released March 20, 2015, and in the third film, the Divergent series, Allegiant, which was released on March 18, 2016. In 2016, Elgort was on a short list of actors for the role of Han Solo in Solo, a Star Wars story. After Alden Ehrenreich was cast in May 2016, Elgort expressed some relief, saying that if he had been cast, he would have had to change his DJ name, Ansel. 33. In 2017, Elgort played the title role in the action film Baby Driver, directed by Edgar Wright, and also starring Lily James and Kevin Spacey. Elgort's audition in 2014 required him to lip-sync and dance to a song of his choosing. 34. The film received positive reviews and performed well at the box office. Elgort received a nomination for the Golden Globe Award for Best Actor, Motion Picture Musical or Comedy for his performance. 35. Also that year, he played Addison Jack in the drama thriller film November Criminals, an adaptation of the novel of the same name, starring again with Chloe Grace Moretz. 36. Elgort starred in the film Billionaire Boys Club, opposite Kevin Spacey, Carrie Elwes, Emma Roberts and Taron Egerton and directed by James Cox. Due to allegations of sexual misconduct against Spacey, the future of the film was uncertain and no release date was set. 37. The film was initially released through video on demand on July 17, 2018, prior to a limited release in theaters on August 17, 2018, by Vertical Entertainment. 38-39. Elgort played the lead role in the 2019 release The Goldfinch, an adaptation of Donna Tartt's novel. 40. The film was critically panned and a box office bomb. 41. Elgort played the lead role of Tony in West Side Story, an adaptation of the 1957 stage musical of the same name directed by Steven Spielberg. 42. The film was released in 2021 to critical acclaim, and received 7 nominations at the 94th Academy Awards, including Best Picture. 43-44. Elgort next starred in Tokyo Vice, a television adaptation of journalist Jake Adelstein's nonfiction memoir for HBO Max. 45-46. Michael Mann and Destin Daniel Cretton directed episodes of the series, written by J.T. Rogers. 47. Elgort played the lead role of Adelstein and served as one of the series' executive producers. Although production on the series was halted due to the COVID-19 pandemic, 48-49 production resumed and the series debuted on HBO Max in 2022 to positive reviews. 50-51-52. Music. Elgort in 2014. Under the name Ansel, Elgort created a SoundCloud account to publish electronic dance music, and he has remixed songs such as Born to Die by Lana Del Rey. In a live stream in February 2014, he said he had signed a record deal with Tom Starr's new label, Star Tracks, and Steve Angelo's label, Size Records. Citation needed. His first record, Unite, was released on April 21, 2014, on Beatport, and May 5, 2014, on iTunes. 53. His second record, Totem, was released July 21, 2014, on Beatport and iTunes. 54. His single To Life, a bar mitzvah-themed song inflected with klezmer music, was released in September 2015. 55-56. Elgort played at the Electric Zoo Festival main stage in 2014, the Ultra Music Festival main stage in March 2015, played in a red light dance music event in Amsterdam in 2014, opened some The Chainsmokers shows, a Nervo show and some others shows with his friends Nicky Romero and Martin Garrix. He played his first headline show on his 21st birthday on Pisha NYC. Citation needed. In 2015, he signed a record deal with Island/Universal Records, releasing his first single on the label, Home Alone, on July 8, 2016. Citation needed. On February 3, 2017, he released a single called Thief under the name Ansel Elgort. The music video featured his then-girlfriend Violetta Comey-Shan, a ballet dancer. He was featured on rapper Logic's third studio album, Everybody, released on May 5, 2017, on a song titled Killing Spree. 57. On January 11, 2018, he released a single called Supernova. 58. He provided vocals for and was featured on Don Diablo's 2018 single Believe. Citation needed. Personal life. As of 2017, Elgort was residing in the Bedford-Stuyvesant neighborhood of Brooklyn. 59. On his 21st birthday, Elgort asked friends, family, and fans to donate to the Thirst Project. 60. In April 2020, he posted a nude photograph of himself on social media as part of a fundraising effort to feed those affected by COVID-19. 61. In June 2020, a woman known as Gabby on Twitter accused Elgort of sexually assaulting her in 2014, when she was 17 and he was 20. 62-63. Following the post, 3 other women alleged that he had solicited them via DM when they were between the ages of 14 and 16, and another post by a French-speaking user, made in April 2020, circulated showing alleged screenshots of him soliciting her when she was 15 and he was 21. 64, 65, 66. He denied the allegation by Gabby in an Instagram post, saying that he and the woman had had a brief, legal, and entirely consensual relationship. 67, 68, 69. In 2022, Elgort split from Violetta Comey-Shan, his girlfriend of 10 years he had been with since high school. Hudson Joseph Meek, August 5, 2008 to December 21, 2024, was an American actor, known for his role as Young Baby in the 2017 film Baby Driver. Life and career. Meek was born on August 5, 2008, to Derek Meek and Lonnie Wells I, where he lived in the Birmingham suburb of Vestavia Hills. 2. He and his brother began acting at an early age. 3. 4. He was a Baptist. 2. In 2014, he briefly appeared in the Lifetime film The Santa Con. 5. He later appeared in episodes of the MacGyver reboot 6 and as Young Baby in Baby Driver, 2017. 7. He also acted in Found, 2023, and The School Duel, 2024. He was cast as Chris Piper in the film 90 Minutes in Heaven, 2015. Lily Chloe Nina Thompson, born April 5, 1989, known professionally as Lily James, is an English actress. She studied acting at the Guildhall School of Music and Drama in London and began her career in the British television series Just William, 2010. Following a supporting role in the period drama series Downton Abbey, 2012 to 2015, her breakthrough was the title role in the fantasy film Cinderella, 2015. James went on to portray Natasha Rostova in the television adaptation of War and Peace,
2016, and starred in several films, including the action film Baby Driver, 2017, the period dramas Darkest Hour, 2017, the Guernsey Literary and Potato Peel Pie Society, 2018, and The Dig, 2021, the musicals Mamma Mia, Here We Go Again, 2018, and Yesterday, 2019, and the sports drama The Iron Claw, 2023. Her portrayal of Pamela Anderson in the biographical series Pam and Tommy, 2022, earned her nominations for a Golden Globe and a Primetime Emmy Award. Early life and education. Lily Chloe Nina Thompson I was born on 5 April 1989 in Esher, Surrey 13, the daughter of Ninette Mantle, an actress, and James Jamie Thompson, a musician. 4 She has 2 brothers, one older and one younger. 1 Her paternal grandmother, Helen Horton, was an American actress. 5 Her maternal grandmother was French, and during World War II fled her village near Paris because of the Nazis. After settling in England, she married James' grandfather, a minister in the Royal Air Force. 6. After finishing at Traying Park School for the Performing Arts in Hertfordshire, James studied at the Guildhall School of Music and Drama in London, graduating in 2010. 7 Shortly thereafter, she signed with Tavistock Wood Management in London. 8. Career. 2009 to 2019, television beginnings and breakthrough. James's television credits include Ethel Brown in the 2010 BBC production of Richmal Crompton's Just William, Poppy in the 4th series of ITV's Secret Diary of a Call Girl, 2011, and Lady Rose MacClare in Downton Abbey. 9 Lady Rose became a main character in the 4th and 5th series of the program. 10 James also appeared as Lady Rose in the series finale. 11. In 2011, James played Taylor at the Young Vic Theatre in Tanya Ronda's stage adaptation of the novel Vernon God Little directed by Rufus Norris. 12 Nina in Russell Bolam's modern adaptation of The Seagull at Southwark Playhouse, and Desdemona in Daniel Evans' production of Othello at the Crucible Theatre, Sheffield, with Dominic West and Clark Peters. In 2012, James played the role of Katrina in Playhouse and Marriageka Indefinitely the Bahamas in a double bill written and directed by Martin Crimp at the Orange Tree Theatre in Richmond, London as part of the theatre's 40th anniversary. Charles Spencer of The Telegraph wrote that it is performed with a persuasive mixture of mischief and deeper feeling by Obia Billy and Lily James, the latter combining a mixture of neuroticism and glowing sexual allure that proves extraordinarily potent. 13 James played the role of Corina in the Warner Brothers film Wrath of the Titans and starred in Fast Girls, written by Noel Clarke, centered around a group of young female athletes competing in the World Championships. James played Cinderella in Kenneth Branagh's 2015 live-action Disney film Cinderella. 14 James was photographed by Annie Leibovitz as Cinderella, in the blue gown her character wears to the ball, for the December 2014 issue of Vogue. 15 James also made her singing debut in the film Sing Sweet Nightingale, Lavender's Blue and A Dream Is a Wish Your Heart Makes from the 1950 animated film in the end credits. James promoting Pride and Prejudice and Zombies at the 2015 San Diego Comic-Con. In 2016, she returned to television in the 2016 BBC historical drama series War and Peace, playing Natasha Rostova. She also starred in her second major film, as Elizabeth Bennet in the action horror film Pride and Prejudice and Zombies, a parody of Jane Austen's Pride and Prejudice. It received mixed reviews and failed to break even at the box office. James played Juliet in the Garrick Theatre's production of Romeo and Juliet directed by Rob Ashford and the actor-director Kenneth Branagh in 2016. In 2017, she appeared in several major films. She played Debora, the love interest of the main character, Baby, in Edgar Wright's action film Baby Driver. She played Elizabeth Layton, a secretary to the British Prime Minister Winston Churchill, played by Gary Oldman, in Joe Wright's war drama film Darkest Hour. She also headlined the Second World War drama film The Exception,
playing a British agent posing as a servant to the exiled Kaiser Wilhelm II. James starred as the younger version of Meryl Streep's character, Donna Sheridan, in the sequel to Mamma Mia, titled Mamma Mia. Here We Go Again. The film was released in July 2018. 16 in the same year, James played the author Juliet Ashton in the 1940s period drama The Guernsey Literary and Potato Peel Pie Society, who exchanges letters with the residents of Guernsey, an island off the coast of Normandy that was German-occupied during the Second World War. 17. In 2019, James starred as Eve Harrington in Ivo Van Hove's stage adaptation of All About Eve alongside Gillian Anderson. 18. The play opened on February 15 to positive reviews, running at the Noel Coward Theatre in the West End until May 11. 2020, present, rise in popularity and film roles. In 2020, James played the second MRS de Winter in an adaptation of Daphne du Maurier's gothic romance Rebecca, directed by Ben Wheatley and co-starring Armie Hammer. 19. In 2021, she played Peggy Piggott in The Dig, a British film directed by Simon Stone, based on the 2007 novel of the same name by John Preston. 20. In late 2020, she was cast to play Pamela Anderson in the miniseries Pam and Tommy for Hulu. 21. In September 2022, it was announced that James was contracted to be a brand ambassador for the Natural Diamond Council, which promotes naturally sourced diamonds. 22. In June 2023, it was announced that James would star in Penelope Skinner's new play Lioness at the Harold Pinter Theatre, alongside Kristen Scott Thomas, whom she previously acted with in Darkest Hour and Rebecca. It will run from October 17 to December 23. 23. In 2023, she starred as Pam Atkinson, Kevin Von Erich's wife, in The Iron Claw. She also starred in the Italian film Finally Done as Josephine Esperanto. 24. James starred in the indie film Greedy People along with Hamish Patel and Joseph Gordon-Levitt, which released in 2024. 25-26. James is set to star as the lead in the upcoming Cliffhanger reboot directed by How May Call It Sarah. Originally Sylvester Stallone was set to play the lead, but production announced he was no longer involved with the film. 27. Personal life. James' father, James Thompson, died from cancer in 2008. She took her father's first name as her stage name when she learned there was already an actress named Lily Thompson. 28. She was in a relationship with actor Matt Smith, whom she met while working on Pride and Prejudice and Zombies, from 2014 to 2019. 29. In 2021, James began dating American musician and songwriter Michael Schumann, a member of U.S. rock band Queens of the Stone Age. Their relationship ended in 2023. Kevin Spacey Fowler, born July 26, 1959, is an American actor. Known for his work on stage and screen, he has received numerous accolades, including 2 Academy Awards, a BAFTA Award, a Golden Globe Award, a Tony Award, and 2 Laurence Olivier Awards, as well as nominations for 12 Emmy Awards. Spacey was named an honorary Knight Commander of the Order of the British Empire in 2015. Spacey began his film career with small roles in Mike Nichols's comedy-drama films Heartburn, 1986, and Working Girl, 1988. He won 2 Academy Awards, Best Supporting Actor for playing a con man in The Usual Suspects, 1995, and Best Actor for playing a suburban husband and father going through a midlife crisis in American Beauty, 1999. His other films include Glengarry Glen Ross, 1992, Outbreak, 1995, Seven, 1995, A Time to Kill, 1996, L.A. Confidential, 1997, Pay It Forward, 2000, Superman Returns, 2006, 21, 2008, Margin Call, 2011, Horrible Bosses, 2011, and Baby Driver, 2017.
He has also directed the films Albino Alligator, 1996, and Beyond the Sea, 2004. In Broadway theater, Spacey starred in a revival of Eugene O'Neill's Long Day's Journey into Night in 1986. He won a Tony Award in 1991 for his role in Lost in Yonkers. He won a Laurence Olivier Award for his performance in a revival of The Iceman Cometh in 1999. Spacey portrayed the title role in Richard III in 2011 and Clarence Darrow in a West End production of Darrow in 2015. He was the artistic director of the Old Vic Theatre in London from 2004 to 2015, for which he received the Society of London Theatre Special Award. In 2017, he hosted the 71st Tony Awards. In television, Spacey portrayed Ron Clane in Recount, 2008, and produced Bernard and Doris, 2008, both for HBO Films. From 2013 to 2017, he starred as Frank Underwood in the Netflix political drama series House of Cards, which won him a Golden Globe Award and 2 consecutive Screen Actors Guild Awards for Best Actor. Both Spacey and the show itself were nominated for 5 consecutive Primetime Emmy Awards for Outstanding Lead Actor in a Drama Series and Outstanding Drama Series, respectively. In 2017, Spacey faced several allegations of sexual misconduct. In 2018 and 2019, Spacey faced multiple criminal investigations. However, in each case Spacey was either not charged or the charges against him were dropped. 345 He has denied the accusations and was found not liable in a 2022 lawsuit in New York. In a separate case in London, he was acquitted by a jury of sexual assault charges in 2023. 67. Early life, family, and education. Kevin Spacey Fowler was born in South Orange, New Jersey, to Kathleen Ann née Knudsen, a secretary, and Thomas Jeffrey Fowler, a technical writer and data consultant. 8-9 His family relocated to Southern California when he was 4 years old. 10 Spacey has a sister and an older brother, Randy Fowler, from whom Spacey is estranged. 11-12-13 His brother has stated that their father, whom he described as a racist Nazi supporter, was sexually and physically abusive, and that Spacey shut down emotionally and became very sly and smart to avoid beatings. 14 Spacey first addressed the matter in October 2022, saying that his father was a white supremacist and a neo-Nazi who would call him an F-word that is very derogatory to the gay community. 15-16 He stated that, as a result, he became extremely private about his personal life and did not come out as gay earlier in his life. 15 Spacey had previously described his father as a very normal, middle-class man. 17. Spacey attended Northridge Military Academy, Canoga Park High School in the 10th and 11th grades. He graduated co-valedictorian, along with Mayor Winningham, of the class of 1977 of Chatsworth High School in Chatsworth, Los Angeles, California. 18-19-20 At Chatsworth, Spacey starred in the school's senior production of The Sound of Music, playing the part of Captain George Von Trapp, with Winningham as Maria Von Trapp. He started using his middle name Spacey, which was his paternal grandmother's maiden name. 9-21 Spacey had tried to succeed as a comedian for several years before attending the Juilliard School in New York City, as a member of Group 12, where he studied drama with teacher Marion Seldes 22 between 1979 and 1981. During this time period, he performed comedy in bowling alley talent contests. 23. Career. 1981 to 1989, early roles and breakthrough. Spacey and Liv Ullmann on the set of Ghosts at the Eisenhower Theater in 1982. Spacey's first professional stage appearance was as a spear carrier in a New York Shakespeare Festival performance of Henry VI, Part 1 in 1981. 24 The following year, he made his first Broadway appearance, as Oswald in a production of Henrik Ibsen's Ghosts, starring Liv Ullmann and director John Neville, which opened at the Eisenhower Theater in Washington's Kennedy Center. 25-26 He then portrayed Phil Inte in Moliere's The Misanthrope. In 1984, Spacey appeared in a production of David Raby's Hurly-Burly, in which he rotated through each of the male parts. He would later play Mickey in the film version. Next came Anton Chekhov's The Seagull alongside David Strathairn and Colleen Dewhurst. In 1986, Spacey appeared in a production of Sleuth in a New Jersey dinner theater. 27. Spacey's prominence as a stage actor began in 1986, when he was cast opposite Jack Lemmon, Peter Gallagher, and Bethel Leslie, as Jamie, the eldest Tyrone's son, in Jonathan Miller's lauded production of Eugene O'Neill's Long Day's Journey into Night. Lemmon in particular would become a mentor to Spacey 28 and was invited, along with Spacey's high school drama teacher, to be present when Spacey received his star on the Hollywood Walk of Fame in 1999. 29 In 1986, Spacey made his first film appearance in Mike Nichols's Heartburn starring Meryl Streep and Jack Nicholson. Spacey plays a small role credited as a subway thief. In 1988, Spacey also briefly appeared in another Nichols film, Working Girl, as businessman Bob Speck. Some of Spacey's other early roles include A Widowed Millionaire on L.A. Law, the television miniseries The Murder of Mary Fagan, 1988, opposite Lemmon, and the comedy See No Evil, Hear No Evil, 1989. In 1987, Spacey made his first major television appearance in the second season premiere of Crime Story, playing a Kennedy-esque American senator. That same year he appeared in spy thriller series The Equalizer as Detective Sergeant Cole in the episode Solo. He earned a fan base after playing the manic-depressive arms dealer Mel Prophet on the television series Wise Guy, 1988. 30. 1990 to 1999, Stardom and Acclaim. Spacey in 1996. Spacey remained actively involved in the live theater community. In 1991, he won a Tony Award for his portrayal of Uncle Louie in Neil Simon's Broadway hit Lost in Yonkers. His father was unconvinced that Spacey could make a career for himself as an actor and did not change his mind until Spacey became well known. 23 Spacey quickly developed a reputation as a character actor, and was cast in bigger roles, including the malevolent office manager in the ensemble film adaptation of the David Mamet play Glengarry Glen Ross, 1992, starring Al Pacino, as well as news reporter Harry Kingsley in a film based on a 1917 dog sled race Iron Will, 1994, directed by Charles Hayde. Spacey also played one half of a bickering Connecticut couple alongside Judy Davis in the dark comedy Christmas film The Rev, 1994, and a malicious Hollywood studio boss in the satire Swimming with Sharks, 1995. Spacey gained prominence for his role as the enigmatic criminal Verbal Kint in Bryan Singer's neo-noir film The Usual Suspects, 1995. He starred opposite an ensemble cast including Gabriel Byrne, Benicio del Toro, and Ches Palminteri. Todd McCarthy of Variety wrote, "Spacey is terrific as the mysterious weak link in the chain of thieves." 31 The role won him the Academy Award for Best Supporting Actor. He was also nominated for the Golden Globe Award for Best Supporting Actor, Motion Picture and Screen Actors Guild Award for Outstanding Actor in a Supporting Role. 32 That same year, Spacey also appeared in the David Fincher detective thriller 7, 1995, starring Brad Pitt and Morgan Freeman. Spacey made a sudden entrance late in the film as serial killer John Doe after going uncredited and unmentioned in the film's advertisements and opening credits. His work in 7, The Usual Suspects and Outbreak earned him Best Supporting Actor honors at the 1995 Society of Texas Film Critics Awards. 33-34. Spacey played an egomaniacal district attorney in A Time to Kill, 1996, and founded Trigger Street Productions in 1997 with the purpose of producing and developing entertainment across various media. Spacey made his directorial debut with the film Albino Alligator, 1996. The film was a box office bomb, grossing $339,379 with a budget of $6 million, but critics praised Spacey's direction. He starred in the Curtis Hanson-directed neo-noir crime film L.A. Confidential, 1997, acting alongside Russell Crowe, Guy Pearce, and Kim Basinger. Spacey played the detective Sergeant Jack Vincennes, an officer and technical advisor for a fictional TV police drama series. The ensemble cast received praise, with Jack Matthews of Newsday citing Spacey as the highlight, writing, "Best of all are Spacey striking an impossible balance of smarminess and charm." 35 The role landed Spacey a nomination for the BAFTA Award for Best Actor in a Leading Role. The following year he voiced the intimidating Grasshopper, Hopper in the animated Pixar film A Bug's Life, 1998. 27 Throughout his career, Spacey has been well known for playing villains. He remarked in 2013, "I think people just like me evil for some reason. They want me to be a son of a bitch." 36. Spacey hosted Saturday Night Live twice, first in 1997 with musical guest Beck and special guests Michael Palin and John Cleese from Monty Python's Flying Circus, and again in May 2006 with musical guest Nelly Furtado. 37 Self-published source. In 1999, Spacey acted alongside Annette Bening in Sam Mendes's American Beauty. In the film he played the role of Lester Burnham, a depressed suburban father and advertising executive who becomes attracted to his teenage daughter's best friend. The film and its performance received widespread acclaim, particularly Spacey, with critic Roger Ebert declaring, "Spacey, an actor who embodies intelligence in his eyes and voice, is the right choice for Lester Burnham. He does reckless and foolish things in this movie, but he doesn't deceive himself. He knows he's running wild and chooses to, burning up the future years of an empty lifetime for a few flashes of freedom." 38 For this role, Spacey won his second Oscar, this time for Best Actor in a Leading Role. In his acceptance speech he dedicated his Oscar to Jack Lemmon, praising him as an influence, mentor, and father figure. He also stated, "Lemmon's performance in The Apartment stands as one of the finest we've ever had." 39 For his role he also received a BAFTA Award and Screen Actors Guild Award, as well as a nomination for a Golden Globe Award. That same year, he was honored with a star on the Hollywood Walk of Fame. 41 Also in 1999, Spacey won the Laurence Olivier Award for Best Actor and earned another Tony Award nomination in 1999 for The Iceman Cometh. 42. 2000 to 2009, established actor and work at the Old Vic. Spacey played a physically and emotionally scarred grade school teacher in Pay It Forward, 2000, a patient in a mental institution who may or may not be an alien in K-Pax, 2001, and singer Bobby Darin in Beyond the Sea, 2004. The latter was a lifelong dream project for Spacey, who took on co-writing, directing, co-producing and starring duties in the biography/musical about Darin's life, career, and relationship with actress Sandra Dee. Facing little interest for backing in the US, Spacey went to the United Kingdom and Germany for funding. Almost all of the film was made in Berlin. 28 Spacey provided his own vocals on the film's soundtrack and appeared in several tribute concerts around the time of its release. Spacey received mostly positive reviews for his singing, as well as a Golden Globe nomination for his performance. However, reviewers debated the age disparity between Spacey and Darin, noting that Spacey was too old to convincingly portray Darin, particularly during the early stages of the singer's life depicted in the film. 43. Spacey portrayed singer Bobby Darin in Beyond the Sea, 2004, which he also directed. In February 2003, Spacey announced that he was to become the artistic director of the Old Vic, one of London's oldest theatres. 44 Appearing at a press conference with Judi Dench and Elton John, Spacey promised both to appear on stage and to bring in big-name talent. 45 He undertook to remain in the post for a full 10 years. The Old Vic Theatre Company staged shows 8 months out of the year. Spacey's first season started in September 2004, opening with the British premiere of the play Cloaca by Maria Goose, directed by Spacey, which opened to mixed reviews.
46 In the 2005 season, Spacey made his UK Shakespearean debut, to good notices, in the title role of Richard II, directed by Trevor Nunn. 46. In 2006, Spacey played Lex Luthor in the Bryan Singer superhero film Superman Returns starring Brandon Routh. He was to return for its 2009 sequel, but the series was instead rebooted with the 2013 film Man of Steel. 47 Spacey also appeared in Edison, which received a direct-to-video release in 2006. 48 The film was released in theaters in Netherlands on March 12, 2006. In mid-2006, Spacey was working at the Old Vic. At that point in his career, he said, he was trying to do things now that are much bigger and outside myself. 49 Spacey performed in productions of national anthems by Dennis McIntyre, and The Philadelphia Story by Philip Berry, in which he played C.K. Dexter Haven, the Cary Grant role in the film version. Critics applauded Spacey for taking on the management of a theater, but noted that while his acting was impressive, his skills and judgment as a producer/manager had yet to develop. 50 In the 2006 season, Spacey suffered a major setback with a production of Arthur Miller's Resurrection Blues, directed by Robert Altman. 51 Despite an all-star cast, including Matthew Modine and future House of Cards co-star Neve Campbell, and the pedigree of Miller's script, Spacey's decision to lure Altman to the stage proved disastrous. After a fraught rehearsal period, the play opened to a critical panning, and closed after only a few weeks. 49 Later in the year, Spacey starred in Eugene O'Neill's A Moon for the Misbegotten, along with Colm Meaney and E. Best. The play received excellent reviews for Spacey and Best, and was transferred to Broadway in 2007. For the spring part of the 2007-08 season, Jeff Goldblum and Laura Michelle Kelly joined Spacey as the three characters in David Mamet's 1988 play Speed the Plough. 52. The Old Vic Theatre in Waterloo, London. Spacey's Capitol/Emmy album Forever Cool, 2007, features two duets with Spacey and an earlier recording of Dean Martin, Ain't That a Kick in the Head and King of the Road. In December 2007, Spacey co-hosted the Nobel Peace Prize concert along with Uma Thurman. 53 In 2008 Spacey starred as Ron Klain in the HBO original political drama film Recount revolving around Florida's vote recount during the 2000 United States presidential election between George W. Bush and Al Gore. The film was written by Danny Strong and directed by Jay Roach and starred Bob Balaban, Laura Dern, John Hurt, Dennis Leary, and Tom Wilkinson. The television film won 3 Primetime Emmy Awards, including Outstanding Television Movie. For his performance in the film, Spacey was nominated for the Primetime Emmy Award for Outstanding Lead Actor in a Limited Series or Movie and the Golden Globe Award for Best Actor in a Miniseries or Television Film. That same year Spacey produced the TV movie Bernard and Doris, an HBO semi-fictionalized account of the relationship that developed between socialite heiress and philanthropist Doris Duke and her self-destructive Irish butler Bernard Lafferty later in her life. The film starred Ralph Fiennes and Susan Sarandon and was directed by Bob Balaban. The film premiered at the Hamptons International Film Festival to critical acclaim, and Spacey was nominated for the Primetime Emmy Award for Outstanding Television Movie. 54 Also in 2008, Spacey played a Massachusetts Institute of Technology, MIT, lecturer in the film 21. The film is based on Ben Mesrich's bestseller Bringing Down the House, the inside story of 6 MIT students who took Vegas for millions, a story of student MIT card counters who used mathematical probability to aid them in card games such as blackjack. In 2009, he directed the premiere of Joe Sutton's Complicit, with Richard Dreyfuss, David Suchet, and Elizabeth McGovern. 50 Later that year, Trevor Nunn directed Spacey in a revival of Inherit the Wind. Spacey played defense lawyer Henry Drummond, a role that was made famous by Spencer Tracy in the 1960 film of the same name. 50 Sam Mendes directed Spacey in Shakespeare's Richard III. Spacey played the title role.
The show began in June 2011, commencing a worldwide tour culminating in New York in early 2012. 55 In March 2014, it was announced that Spacey would star in a one-man play at the Old Vic to celebrate his 10 years as artistic director. He took on the part of Clarence Darrow in the play. 56. 2010 to 2017, House of Cards and other roles. Spacey at the Berlin Film Festival 2011. In early 2010, Spacey went to China to star in writer-director Dayan Ng's black comedy film Inseparable, becoming the first Hollywood actor to star in a fully Chinese-funded film. 57 In 2011, Spacey starred in J.C. Shandor's financial thriller Margin Call alongside Paul Bettany, Jeremy Irons, Zachary Quinto, Demi Moore, and Stanley Tucci. The story at large takes place over a 24-hour period at a large Wall Street investment bank during the initial stages of the 2008 financial crisis. The film, which focuses on the actions taken by a group of employees during the subsequent financial collapse, made its debut at the Sundance Film Festival to critical acclaim. Spacey received the Independent Spirit Robert Altman Award along with the cast. That same year, Spacey co-starred in the black comedy film Horrible Bosses, which grossed over $209.6 million at the box office. 58. On March 18, 2011, it was announced that Spacey was cast as Frank Underwood in the Netflix series House of Cards, adapted from a 1990 BBC political drama of the same name. 59. He was nominated for the Primetime Emmy Award for Outstanding Lead Actor in a Drama Series at the 65th Primetime Emmy Awards in 2013, becoming the first lead actor to be Primetime Emmy nominated from a web television series. 60. Spacey went on to win the Golden Globe Award for Best Actor in a Television Series Drama at the 72nd Golden Globe Awards and Screen Actors Guild nomination for Outstanding Performance by a Male Actor in a Drama Series at the 21st Screen Actors Guild Awards for his Season 2 performance. 61-62 He was fired from the series after the 5th season following multiple allegations of sexual misconduct. 63. Spacey showing Maryland Governor Martin O'Malley around the set of House of Cards, May 2013. In 2013 he executive produced the biographical survival thriller film Captain Phillips, which was nominated for the Academy Award for Best Picture. 64-65 Spacey portrayed the antagonist Jonathan Irons in the 2014 video game Call of Duty: Advanced Warfare through motion capture. 66 He starred as President Richard Nixon in the comedy drama Elvis and Nixon, 2016, which is based on the meeting that took place between Nixon and singer Elvis Presley, Michael Shannon, in December 1970, wherein Presley requested that Nixon swear him in as an undercover agent in the Bureau of Narcotics and Dangerous Drugs. 67 He next starred in the comedy film 9 Lives, as a man trapped in the body of a cat. 68 The film was released on August 5, 2016. 69 Spacey is well known in Hollywood for his impressions. When he appeared on Inside the Actors Studio, he imitated, at host James Lipton's request, Jack Lemmon, James Stewart, Johnny Carson, Katharine Hepburn, Clint Eastwood, John Gielgud, Marlon Brando, Christopher Walken, and Al Pacino. 32 On The Tonight Show starring Jimmy Fallon, Spacey admitted to using his vocal skills as a young actor in New York City to pretend to be Carson's son to obtain free theater tickets and to enter Studio 54. 70. In January 2016 it was announced that Relativity Media, which was just emerging from Chapter 11 bankruptcy, 71 had acquired Trigger Street Productions and that Spacey would become chairman of Relativity Studios, while Dana Brunetti would become the studio's president. 72 Spacey called the move an incredible opportunity to make great entertainment and said he considered it the next evolution in my career. 73 However, when the paperwork for the studio was filed for the court, it emerged that Spacey had opted out of assuming the chairmanship of the studio. 74 And by the end of 2016 Brunetti had also left Relativity, while both remained executive producers on House of Cards and Manifesto. 75. On June 16, 2016, Spacey was awarded an honorary knighthood for his services to theater, arts education, and international culture in the 2015 Queen's Birthday Honours. 76. The honour, Knight Commander of the Order of the British Empire, was given at Clarence House by then Prince Charles. As a non-Commonwealth realm citizen, the award is honorary and he is not entitled to the honorific Sir. 77. Spacey had previously been awarded the lesser rank of Honorary Commander of the Order of the British Empire, CBE, for services to drama in 2010. 78. Spacey was a patron of the Shakespeare Schools Festival, a charity that enables school children across the UK to perform Shakespeare in professional theatres. He also sits on the board of directors of the Motion Picture and Television Fund. 79. 2017, present, career controversy and comeback attempts. In March 2017, it was announced that Spacey would portray J. Paul Getty in Ridley Scott's All the Money in the World. 80. He shot his role in the film in 10 days over the summer of 2017. But because of the sexual assault allegations against Spacey, it was announced on November 8, 2017, that all of his footage would be excised. 81. And that Christopher Plummer would replace him in reshoots. 82-83. Despite the very tight schedule, TriStar Pictures completed the new version of the film in time for a December 25 release. 84-85. Spacey appeared in the film Billionaire Boys Club, which had a limited release on August 17, 2018. 86-87-88. Vertical Entertainment stated that it would take no action to remove Spacey from the film, as it had been completed in late 2016, before the allegations made in October 2017. 89. They released a statement which read in part, "We don't condone sexual harassment on any level and we fully support victims of it. At the same time, this is neither an easy nor insensitive decision to release this film in theaters, but we believe in giving the cast, as well as hundreds of crew members who worked hard on the film, the chance to see their final product reach audiences." 90. Following the allegations leveled against him, Spacey maintained a lower profile and his career stalled. 91-92. Spacey at the Venice International Film Festival in 2025. In May 2021, it was announced that he had been cast in a supporting role as a police detective in the crime drama film The Man Who Drew God, directed by and starring Franco Nero, which is about a blind artist who is wrongly accused of sexually abusing a child. 93-94. The film reunited Spacey with Faye Dunaway, whom he directed in Albino Alligator. In August 2021, Spacey was reportedly filming in California for a small production, Peter 5895-96, in which he plays a charismatic serial killer. 97. On November 3, 2022, Variety reported that Spacey was set to speak at the National Museum of Cinema and was going to receive a Lifetime Achievement Award on January 16, 2023, despite the allegations against him. 98. On November 28, 2022, after winning a sexual battery lawsuit against him filed by Anthony Rapp, Spacey was cast in the British indie thriller Control. Its director, Jean Fallas, dismissed concerns about working with Spacey. 99. In 2022, Spacey was cast as the late Croatian leader Franjo Tudman in the political drama Once Upon a Time in Croatia, directed by Jakov Sidler. 100. In 2024, notable industry members such as actors Sharon Stone, Liam Neeson, F. Murray Abraham, and Stephen Fry, film director Paul Schrader and theater director Trevor Nunn vocally supported Spacey's attempts to return to acting. 101, 102, 103. The film Peter 58, released in 2024, marks Spacey's return to a major role after his legal troubles. 104. In the same year, he starred The Contract, an Italian production, with Eric Roberts. 105. Acting credits and accolades. Spacey star on the Hollywood Walk of Fame, late in 1999. Main articles,
Kevin Spacey on screen and stage and list of awards and nominations received by Kevin Spacey. Spacey has won 2 Academy Awards, a Tony Award, a Golden Globe Award, 4 Screen Actors Guild Awards and a British Academy Film Award. He was nominated for a Grammy Award and for 12 Primetime Emmy Awards. Spacey received a star on the Hollywood Walk of Fame in 1999 and was named an honorary Commander and Knight Commander of the Order of the British Empire in 2010 and 2015, respectively. 106, 107, 108. Personal life. Spacey briefly dated American actress April Winchell after she graduated high school in the early 1980s. 109, 110. An article in the Sunday Times magazine in 1999 stated that Spacey's love affair with acting, and the absence of a visible partner in the life of an attractive 40-year-old, has resulted in Esquire magazine asserting 2 years ago that he must be gay. 111. Spacey responded to the rumors by telling Playboy and other interviewers that he was not gay. 112. And by telling Leslie White of the Sunday Times, "I chose for a long time not to answer these questions because of the manner in which they were asked, and because I was never talking to someone I trusted, so why should I? Recently I chose to participate because it's a little hard on the people I love." 111. In 1999, reports suggested Spacey was dating a script supervisor named Diane Dreher, with their relationship possibly dating back as far as 1992. 113, 114, 115. In 2000, Spacey brought Dreher to the Academy Awards. 113. During the acceptance speech for his Best Actor award, Spacey said, "Diane, thank you for teaching me about caring about the right things, and I love you." 116. In 2007, Gotham magazine quoted Spacey saying, "I've never believed in pimping my personal life out for publicity. Although I might be interested in doing it, I will never do it. People can gossip all they want, they can speculate all they want. I just happen to believe that there's a separation between the public life and the private life. Everybody has the right to a private life no matter what their professions are." 111. In 2017, Spacey came out as gay in a statement denying a sexual misconduct allegation. 117, 118, 119. Political views and activism. Spacey speaking during the 2010 Clinton Global Citizen Awards. Spacey is a Democrat and has been described as left-leaning, with his political views mirroring some of those professed by his fictional character in House of Cards. 120, 121. Spacey worked on Jimmy Carter's 1976 presidential campaign. 122. He is a friend of former President Bill Clinton, having met Clinton before his presidency began. Spacey once described Clinton as one of the shining lights in the political process. 23. He additionally made a cameo appearance in the short film President Clinton, Final Days, a light-hearted political satire produced by the Clinton administration for the 2000 White House Correspondents' Dinner. 123. Spacey has undertaken activism in the domain of HIV/AIDS. In 2002, he and fellow actor Chris Tucker accompanied Bill Clinton on a trip throughout several African countries to promote AIDS awareness on the continent. 124. The trip gained renewed attention in 2019 amidst the sex trafficking charges against Jeffrey Epstein, whose plane was used. 125. Spacey also participated in several fundraisers for HIV/AIDS healthcare, including AMFAR Cinema Against AIDS in 2016. 126. And the 25th Annual Elton John AIDS Foundation Academy Award Party in 2017. 127. Spacey met Venezuelan President Hugo Chavez in September 2007 but never spoke to the press about their encounter. During the trip, he visited the Venezuelan film studio Villa del Cine. 128. In March 2011, following Belarusian President Alexander Lukashenko's crackdown on the Belarusian democracy movement, Spacey joined Jude Law in a street protest in London against Lukashenko's regime. 129. In October 2008, Spacey started the Kevin Spacey Foundation in the UK to encourage youth involvement in the arts. 130. Headquartered in England and Wales, its purpose was to provide grants to individuals and organizations to help young people study the arts, particularly theater. 131. The charity shut down in February 2018 following sexual misconduct allegations against Spacey. 132. In September 2006, Spacey said that he intended to take up British citizenship when it is offered to him. 133. When asked about the UK's 2016 European Union membership referendum, Spacey replied, "I appreciate you asking me the question, but I am not a British citizen, I am a resident of Great Britain. And I have never in my 12 years ever gotten involved in politics in Great Britain. I think it's inappropriate for me as a guest, in Great Britain, so I'll leave that to the British people." 134. In May 2024, Spacey endorsed Robert F. Kennedy Jr., running as an independent, in the 2024 United States presidential election. 135. In December 2024, Spacey visited the Israel-Gaza border and toured areas impacted by Hamas 2023 October 7 attacks. He was accompanied by pro-Israel journalist Douglas Murray. Spacey was reportedly visiting the daughter of a friend, who is serving in the Israel Defense Forces. 136. 137. Sexual misconduct allegations. Main article, Kevin Spacey sexual misconduct allegations. In 2017, Spacey faced several allegations of sexual assault and sexual harassment. On October 29, 2017, actor Anthony Rapp was the first to accuse Spacey of sexual misconduct. 138. In the following weeks, other accusers came forward, including actor Roberto Cavazos, filmmaker Tony Montana, Richard Dreyfuss's son Harry, and at least 8 people who worked on House of Cards. 139. 140. 141. In the wake of these claims, Netflix cut ties with Spacey, shelving his biopic of Gore Vidal and removing him from the last season of House of Cards. His completed role as J. Paul Getty in Ridley Scott's film All the Money in the World, 2017, was reshot with Christopher Plummer. 142. 143. Spacey has denied the accusations and was found not liable in a 2022 civil lawsuit filed by Rapp in New York. 144. In a separate criminal case in London, he was acquitted by a jury of sexual assault charges in 2023. Jonathan Daniel Hamm, born March 10, 1971, is an American actor. He is best known for his role as Don Draper in the period drama series Mad Men, 2007 to 2015, 124, which he won numerous accolades, including a Primetime Emmy Award and 2 Golden Globe Awards. 234. Hamm also acted in lead roles in the films Stolen, 2010, $1 Million Arm, 2014, Keeping Up with the Joneses, 2016, Beirut, 2018, and Confess, Fletch, 2022, as well as his supporting roles in The Town, 2010, Sucker Punch, 2011, Bridesmaids, 2011, Baby Driver, 2017, Tag, 2018, Bad Times at the El Royale, 2018, The Report, 2019, Lucy in the Sky, 2019, Richard Jewell, 2019, No Sudden Move, 2021, and Top Gun, Maverick, 2022. 5. He voiced roles in Shrek Forever After, 2010, Minions, 2015, and Transformers 1, 2024. 5. Hamm expanded his career on television, taking leading roles in prestige drama series such as Sky Arts' A Young Doctor's Notebook,
2012 to 2013, FX's Fargo, 2023 to 24, Paramount Plus' Landman, 2024 to 25, and Apple TV Plus' Your Friends and Neighbors, 2025. He also took supporting roles in the dystopian anthology Black Mirror, White Christmas, 2014, the superhero series Legion, 2018, the fantasy series Good Omens, 2019, and the drama series The Morning Show, 2023. 6'7", also known for his comedic roles, he has guest starred in the NBC shows 30 Rock and Parks and Recreation, the Netflix series Unbreakable Kimmy Schmidt, and the HBO series Curb Your Enthusiasm. Early life and education. My dad was twice widowed. He was divorced from my mom when she died, but even so, there's a deep sense of tragedy in that. I never had the opportunity to, as an adult, sit down and talk to him about that. It's a real loss. I was quasi-adopted by my friends' families. And even today I get emails or cards from these women who, for lack of a better word, were my mom. We talk about what it means to be a family. Mostly it's about showing up. And being aware enough to check in and say, "How are you doing?" I've been incredibly lucky to have these people in my life. Jon Hamm, 2L, March 14, 2012 interview. Jonathan Daniel Hamm was born on March 10, 1971, in St. Louis, Missouri 8-9, the son of Debora, née Garner, Hamm, a secretary, and Daniel Hamm, who managed a family trucking company. 10-11-12 Hamm is of German, English, French, and Irish descent. His surname came from German immigrants. 13 He was raised Catholic. 14 His parents divorced when he was 2 years old, and he lived in the St. Louis suburb of Creve Coeur with his mother 12 until her death from colon cancer when Hamm was 10 years old. 15 He then lived with his father and grandmother in nearby Normandy 16 until his father died 10 years after his mother. John was 20. 17. His first acting role was as Winnie the Pooh in first grade. 18 At 16, he was cast as Judas in the play Godspell. 19 and enjoyed the experience, though he did not take acting seriously. He attended John Burroughs School, a private school in Ladue, where he was a member of the football, baseball, and swim teams. 20 During this time, he dated Sarah Clark, who became an actress. 21. After graduation in 1989, Hamm enrolled at the University of Texas. 22 While a member of Sigma Nu fraternity at that university, Hamm was arrested along with 7 other students for violently attacking and severely injuring fellow student Mark Allen Sanders 23 as part of fraternity hazing in November 1990. 24 Hamm admitted the crime, which included severely beating a student and lighting a student's pants on fire 25 as part of a deferred adjudication plea deal, and the charges were dismissed following the completion of probation. 24-26 He later transferred to the University of Missouri. 22 He answered an advertisement from a theater company seeking players for a production of A Midsummer Night's Dream and was cast in the production. 20 Other roles followed, such as Leon Cholgaz in Assassins. 27. Career. After graduating in 1993 with a BA in English, 26 Hamm returned to his high school to teach 8th grade acting. 12-20-28 One of his students was Ellie Kemper, who became an actress. Years later, Hamm appeared in Kemper's Netflix series Unbreakable Kimmy Schmidt. 29. 1995 to 2006, early roles. Hamm, who did not wish to pursue a normal career, moved to Los Angeles permanently in 1995. 30-21 He moved into a house with 4 other aspiring actors and began working as a waiter while attending auditions. 20 He acted in theater, including as Flavius in a production of Shakespeare's Timon of Athens with the Sacred Fools Theatre Company. 31 Looking older than his age, he found it difficult to find work as an actor, despite representation by the William Morris Agency. 21 32-30-33 In 1998, after he had failed to get any acting work for 3 years, William Morris dropped him as a client. 11 He continued working as a waiter. 20 and, briefly, worked as a set decorator for a softcore pornography movie. 32 He decided that his 30th birthday would be his deadline to succeed in Hollywood. 19 And has said, "You either suck that up and find another agent, or you go home and say you gave it a shot, but that's the end of that. The last thing I wanted to be out here was one of those actors who's 45 years old, with a tenuous grasp of their own reality, and not really working much. So I gave myself 5 years. I said, if I can't get it going by the time I'm 30, I'm in the wrong place. And as soon as I said that, it's like I started working right away." 20. In 2000, Hamm landed the role of romantic firefighter Bert Ridley on NBC's drama series Providence. 34-35 His one-episode contract grew to 19-12-18 and allowed him to quit waiting tables. 21-33 He made his feature movie debut with one line in Clint Eastwood's adventure film Space Cowboys, 2000. 34-36 More substantial roles followed in the independent comedy Kissing Jessica Stein, 2001, and the war film We Were Soldiers, 2002.